Welcome to Subramani. For the last few decades, people all over the world, especially the democratic world, which is US, India, UK, France, people have made money on equity markets, but largely our literature is restricted to US. So let's stick to US and India, the two markets one about which there's a lot of literature and one about which I have some experience, right? So people have earned money, there's no doubt about that. People have invested in real estate, mutual funds, IPOs, direct equity, bitcoins, right? So all these kinds of things where people have made money, obviously mutual funds, ULIPs, whatever. People have made money, and people have largely understood there is risk in investing, and the people who took the risk, so people who took the risk by understanding the risk, some people who took risk without understanding risk, some made money, some didn't make money, right? So this is what happened over long periods of time. This is what happened. Of course, there were very many fly-by-night people who came, cheated, took the money, went away, right? All those things also happened. So regulation also evolved. So now there is one authority called FINRA, Financial Regulator, based in US, again a non-elected body, nominated by the government, who have decided or are close to taking a decision saying you cannot invest in certain investments which are too complex unless you pass an exam or you show that you understand the product, and you have to have a high net worth. Now, I am not either for or against, because one thing which I see over periods of time is everybody talks to me, maybe 100 people must have spoken to me saying we should do something in financial education, in financial literacy. I mean, I'm indifferent. If people want to go and lose money, it's their problem. What financial literacy I can do, whatever I can do, I'm doing through my channel and through my blog. I'm not writing my blog regularly, but that's all I can do. But do you want a regulator to come and say, unless you pass this exam, you cannot invest? Let's just say cryptocurrency. A few years back, I knew cryptocurrency is going to become very big, but I had no clue how to invest or what to do, and I did not have the guts to invest, right? So both, you need everything. You need to understand that it's going to become something big. You have to have the guts to invest, and you have to be willing to put a big amount of money and stay invested during tough times. All this combination is needed to make money, especially at the beginning of any industry. I do not have this combination. I didn't understand. I was not willing to commit money. I still don't understand how it works. So I don't invest at all. But tomorrow, if there is a XYZ mutual fund which launches a mutual fund which invests in crypto, maybe a bunch of cryptos, right? So I will happily invest, because here I'm assuming that these bunch of professionals have been trained. They are sitting down and analyzing. There is a prospectus which tells me what they will do. Even if I don't understand, I think there is a regulation through which I will invest. So should FINRA equivalent in India, maybe we call them Sebi, should they say, no, this is the exam that you have to pass, and then you should have a minimum net worth of say 10 crores of rupees, otherwise you can't invest? Then the very purpose of having mutual funds is lost. Like, I can't understand pharma industry, so I do an SIP in a pharma fund. I don't understand healthcare, so I do SIP in a healthcare fund. I don't understand commodities, so I invest in a fund which invests in other commodities, right? So why do I use mutual funds? I use mutual funds for this. Having said that, I like the Singapore approach of saying, this is what you're investing. Do you realize that the market can go up and go down? Do you realize that your investment can get completely wiped off? When a person is willing to sign a declaration saying all this, how do you as a regulator sit and say, no, but people are just signing blindly, they're not reading, so therefore they should pass an exam? So if you ask the person to pass an exam, what stops you from, how will you know that the exam has not been passed by a person who is just impersonating? Are you going to monitor that? Are you going to conduct a class exam like IIT entrance or like the CA Institute? Do we have the ability to do it? So FINRA, some people feel, is overdoing, but the financial service industry has not done anything so exemplary that FINRA did not even think of these things, right? So would you go to the extent of saying, well, if you want to be treated for some particular ailment, you need to at least pass one small test. knowing, do you understand what the doctor is saying? Because when I go to a doctor with somebody, to me it is all mumbo jumbo, and doctors don't have the patience to explain. So how do you deal in such a case? How do you decide that you can have a heart operation only after you pass an exam? Do you understand all things related to a heart? So I don't know, I don't think these are the right examples to compare. But if there is an HNI who is wanting to put 10 crores in a mutual fund which invests in cryptocurrencies, what stops the why should a regulator be bothered about it? And that too, remember what I said, it is a fully nominated kind of a body. It's not an elected body where you can decide who should be there. So here, if it's a person who does not understand cryptocurrencies and he says no cryptocurrencies, I mean, it's not right. I am, luckily for you, I am not in a position of power, or I may have said don't invest in cryptocurrency. Here I am only suggesting, there I can be compelling. I don't want any compulsion for any investor to ever happen. So I don't think that makes sense. People have taken risk, people have understood risk. Those who didn't understand risk paid for it. Those who did understand benefited from it. Those who didn't understand risk went and got themselves educated, right? So people did CA, people did MBA, people sat with investment advisors, asked for their experience, then decided what to do. So people will find a way to learn. So keep these exams available. I'm sure NISM should create more exams for investors, saying if you are an investor, do you know the following? Keep these exam fees at 500 rupees or 1500 rupees is also okay. Create literature, do all that. Don't force people, don't get people to say compulsory you have to pass an exam. I do not know how much the resistance to FINRA is going to be in US. I think there will be resistance. It's not for the regulator to decide whether somebody should invest or not invest. It is for the investor to decide to invest, maybe lose money, and then come back and say, oh my god, I will not invest again, right? So, or somebody like I mean, so many people come and invest in liquid funds. That's easy to understand, but they also invest in a Brazilian commodity fund and they lose money. Then they realize that a mutual fund is more like a zoo. There is a tiger, there is a rabbit, there is an elephant. You have to understand that different animals, you treat them very differently. Rabbit can't harm you, but a tiger or a lion can harm you if you go very close to the cage, right? You need to understand those things, and it is for you to understand. There cannot be a zoology class outside the zoo saying if you don't pass this exam you cannot go in. So similarly in financial services, you let people buy, sell, lose money. Then slowly the regulation will evolve, right? So once the regulation evolves, people will learn what to do. But making people pass an exam in a country like US, I doubt whether it will work. But well, that's what FINRA is trying. Again, I said, congressionally appointed, not voted kind of a body. Such body is having the powers to decide who should invest where. Seems to be a little odd. I don't think it will work, but let's see. And the thing is, if it works, will SEBI copy it? I'll be very happy if SEBI copies, because for me, I'll still do lectures and make sure that people pass all these exams. But knowing that these exams will be held remotely, it's almost impossible for anybody to monitor whether that person really passed the exam. So I don't think a regulator should worry about this. They should be worried as to who comes to the market and what product is being offered. That I agree. But asking the investor to pass an exam to invest seems to be difficult, and people will find a way out. Thank you.